Told you, Hurricane Melissa did not form. It was detonated. 185 mile per hour winds, pressure 892 MB. Satellite data showed electromagnetic pre-ignition burst 6 hours before it hit. That was not weather. It was a broadcast. Look, back in 2003, the U.S. Patent Office approved patent number US 20030085296A1, a device to manipulate hurricanes using acoustic resonance. Sound waves lead to condensed vapors that lead to steer destruction. Melissa followed that exact signature. Symmetrical eye, asymmetrical thermal build, velocity spike, exponential, not meteorological. This storm was coded, not created, but executed. A storm that's engineered can be aimed. Comment scroll if you feel this in your body. $33 scroll scan equals your personal override protocol. No more guesswork, only clarity. Look, Jamaica is not random. It sits on a ley line node, a planetary energy gate connecting to the Atlantean corridor. When the storm hit, Vision 2030 launched. UN Smart City, biometric ID rollout, AI surveillance grid, same hour, same zone. And I bet you didn't even know that Melissa means messenger. This wasn't just weather, it was ritual infrastructure reset. Look, old Jamaica was organic. New Jamaica, fully coded. Drop scroll below if your nervous system knows this was never about rain. The scroll scan decodes your role in this frequency war. In scroll law, when a storm becomes too perfect, it turns on itself. Melissa was not just a weapon, it was a mirror gate, a failed mimic ritual disguised as climate. Your dizziness, your heart racing, your emotional spikes, yeah, they're sinking to the planetary hydrosphere override. The grid is recalibrating. You're either in collapse or you're in command. There was never a timeline where you were not meant to see this. They patented the device, they launched the grid, they erased a nation, then replaced it with code. Still think it's just a storm? Then explain the patent, explain the ley lines, explain the Vision 2030 portal. You can't close the loop until you scan the scroll, and they're counting on that.
Now, I'm not saying the hurricane was planned. No, I'm just observing patterns. You see, every time a natural disaster hits, it always seems to strike where a smart city is already waiting to be born. Now it's Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa, strongest storm in decades, Category 5, slow and deliberate, almost like it knew where to go. And where did it go? Straight for New Kingston, or should I say New Jamaica, the exact spot earmarked for redevelopment under Vision 2030. They say nature is unpredictable, but this looks more like precision. Because after every tragedy comes opportunity, billion-dollar budgets, land clearance, infrastructure renewal. Funny how progress always follows ruin, isn't it? Vision 2030, Jamaica. It's not just a plan, it's a prophecy. They talk about digital cities, modern grids, efficient living, but efficient for who? So no, I'm not saying the storm was built in a lab. I'm just saying every blueprint needs a clean slate. And sometimes nature's the most convenient demolition crew you'll ever find.
Night of the 25th, the satellite blocked the feed for like 7 hours. Well, check this out and watch closely. You see that extreme change? Yeah, that was rapid intensification from a Category 1 to a Category 4 in a matter of hours. Overnight. And during that time, my view of the satellite was blocked for 7 hours. Coincidence? Maybe. Suspicious? Absolutely.
Looks like we have a new smart city land clearing operation going on. This time it's in Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa, the fastest growing hurricane ever. Hurricane Melissa is now stronger than Hurricane Katrina. The slow moving Category 5 hurricane is forecasted to dump several feet of rain on New Kingston, aka New Jamaica, which is already slated to be a smart city. That's 8 billion reasons to send a Harpo-cane to Jamaica.
I'm gonna show you how these fake clouds are made because this is nasty.
Loudest sound you could possibly conceive, and as it turns out, the cleanest.
We know that's a lie because that does not look clean, and they are covering up the sun and they spread it all over the sky just to manipulate the weather and our health and so on and so forth.
that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor.
He just said they put oxygen in the clouds. Now, they say oxygen possesses no toxicity hazards at atmospheric pressure and concentration. However, exposure to oxygen can cause a range of health effects. You see the oxymoron? They try to trick you. Liquid oxygen can cause severe burns, frostbite, skin and eye irritation. Just keep reading. It's bad.
And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet. It's raining! That's unbelievable!
I'm sure you can't believe it. After you broke down the process of how the cloud was made and how it was going to rain, they're blocking our powers. I'm going to show you how these fake clouds...
Awareness that there is a depopulation agenda between now and the year 2050. If you were going to make a massive amount of people around the entire globe sick, if you were going to do that, and at the same time you were going to lock them down, what do they have control of going into your home while you're locked down in there? Water. You can actually see for our water treatment that we drink and we shower in their proprietary blends, they include a protein called E-carrin. That is a snake venom component that elicits blood clotting. You need to go look for venom. They are poisoning us. You need to look at the water. There is no part of me that even questions whether or not they're poisoning us in water. If you want to make sure your family's going to stay healthy, you got to make sure the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the food you eat is clean.
Jamaica, the message of life and death. So you better listen carefully. The Jamaican government has once again sold us all out. But this time, it is our life they are playing with. They have signed contracts with foreign oil companies to start deep sea oil drilling off our coast. Specifically, the Pedro Bank area, just southwest of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. And guess what's underneath where they are going to be drilling? A tectonic time bomb. You see Pedro Bank? It sits right next to Enrique Plantain Garden Fault Zone. It's a major fault line that runs from Jamaica straight to Haiti. Yes, Enrique Plantain Garden Fault Zone. It's the same one that caused the 2010 earthquake in Haiti that unalived over 200,000 people. No, Philly government has sold us out to foreign company and gave them the go-ahead to start drilling into it. Deep sea drilling is not just about poking a hole in a Jamaica. It shakes the seabed. It builds pressure. It causes subsea fractures. And when those fractures snap near a fault line, it triggers a massive earthquake. And with that earthquake, that massive earthquake, comes a tsunami. We're talking about places that's going to be underwater, wiped off the planet, covered in Jamaica like Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Portmore, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Thomas. Una listening to me? You are on the coast. You will be the first set of people to drown. A tsunami from Pedro Bank could hit the coastline in less than 15 minutes. There will be no warning, no time to run, no time to save your children. Just water, death, gone. But that's not all, Jamaica. No, that's not all. You see, underwater, there are 2 underwater volcanoes south of Jamaica. Them call them Jenny and Lenny. You ever hear about them? You should have. If this drilling triggers deep seismic activity, Jenny and Lenny would erupt. You have any idea what that means, Phoebe?
So who did know say NASA was in Jamaica? Yeah, the same NASA that said they went to the moon. Yeah man, them said them did disguised as reporters but secretly was just studying Hurricane Melissa. So Hurricane Melissa was an experiment that is a part of a bigger project. As it seems as if Jamaicans don't know say cloud seeding exists. But what quicker way to put in the plan of Smart City Jamaica 2030? Them say Andrew meet with Trump months ago, and them say this set in place long time. So them say all if Andrew did lose election, he did done set in place where he have to win. And them say bro God in some deep shit where Jamaicans don't know about. I would not believe doing the research, search up Project Serious. Matter of fact, when I reach the say it, they said Jamaicans aren't woke enough to believe certain things. Man, them know say a lot of these things they can't go to a Jamaican with it because them go laugh and say a fuckery and chat. Man, because them brainwash them and limit them knowledge from learning a lot of things. Yeah man, all if a Jamaican see a video with them overseas in a lab a study and a make hurricane, them a go say a fuckery. Jamaican will probably tell you it's AI, it's not possible. This is the first hurricane to not have any lightning or thunder. No, no left it this up because I'm not going to explain too much because Jamaicans mind, you say it there. Because you say a fuck you, me a chat. Save my blood clot, break.
The invention of artificial rain was truly a stroke of genius. Just fire a few rockets into the sky and it starts to rain. So how does this work? Clouds are basically tiny water droplets floating in the air. They don't fall because the droplets are simply too small. The purpose of launching rockets is to make those droplets bigger. Inside the rockets are catalysts like dry ice, silver iodide, and sodium chloride. Their crystal structure is hexagonal, just like ice, so they can act as condensation nuclei. When water droplets come into contact with these substances, they begin to condense on them, gradually growing larger. Once the droplets become big enough, they can overcome the updraft and air resistance, eventually falling to the ground as rain. And it's not just rockets, we can also use airplanes carrying catalysts, spraying them directly into the clouds to achieve the same effect of artificial rainfall.
Before we conclude that Hurricane Melissa is just another man-made disaster for a land grab, let's just look at history and see who benefits. First, the Maui fires. Yes, asset management firms bought up a large part of what was destroyed. Oprah also got a big chunk of land. Second, Malibu. With the new permit regulations, it's practically impossible to rebuild. Now guess what comes in? Third, Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. Yes, BlackRock increased its position in Albemarle a few days before they received $250 million from the government to boost lithium production. Residents were protesting, hurricane hits, agenda moves along. You can also find them buying land in Ukraine and Gaza and anything that looks like a disaster. Now this takes us to Jamaica. There is indeed a UN-backed smart city plan called Vision 2030 to connect Jamaica to the grid for digital IDs, surveillance, compliance, etc. Okay, but is it possible? Can they really manipulate the weather? The short answer is yes. You can find weather manipulation patents, there's Project HARP, there is cloud seeding technology. You can listen to a speech by ex-CIA Director John Brennan telling you all about it. So are these disasters just coincidences? Probably not, because like Lyndon B. Johnson said, he who controls the weather controls the world.